What's up, everybody? So the Verdansk information is starting to come out. We just posted a video of the blog post. It's a long one, but it's everything from the intel drop coming to Verdansk. We talk about it all. And in that, I mentioned that we would be going over this tour blog post. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at all the POIs for those that need a refresher, for those that want to be nostalgic and excited, or for those of us that have never played Verdansk. I know I have some Warzone friends who did not start playing until Modern Warfare 2. Unfortunately for them. So we're going to do that, but I'm going to link that other video with the intel drop down below. The intel drop itself, they also have Attack Atlas. If you really want to look at POI details, I'll link that down below. This blog post will be linked down below. And then the COD Pod episode 5 where they talk about Verdansk, I'll link all of that down below as well. But before I get into this, I will be live on April 3rd when it drops. Twitch is linked down below, and my other social medias are linked down below as well if you want to check those out. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like this type of content and want to see it first. So without further ado, let's start looking at some of these POIs. So here is the good old map. Now, the old days, they did not have these little, sub POI names. They just had the major POI names that you see there, so that's interesting. So they have a Verdansk fly-through here, which I will link down below, but it's literally what it sounds like. It's a fly-through. I'll link that down below as well, even though it's in the blog post, if you want to check that out for yourself. I guess tomorrow we might... No, we're not going to talk about this. Multiplayer zombies, general content. Probably won't talk about that. We'll see if there's anything. And then update to Ricochet, we'll also have a video about that as well, and we'll skip the Battle Pass, Black Cell, and store bundles like we normally do. So, major POIs, we have Dam here. It looks pretty faithful to the good old Dam. We got the ice. They say that the goat trails around the map, climbing around the map will be better. So it'll be interesting to see. There was an old way where it was kind of more of a bug than it was an actual trail to be able to climb up on this side right here. It'll be interesting to see if that's just climbable now. We have good old military base. One thing that they mentioned is cars throughout the map that aren't drivable will be destroyed looking. So that's good. You can see those here in this training area. Mill base looks like it's pretty much the same. I mean, they said the map would be faithful to the original with some very, very minor changes. If you remember, there was some end zones that would be up on this hillside. Hopefully, we don't end up with those end zones. Hopefully, those end zones are just gone. They were fun, but it was kind of hectic and painful. Quarry is another interesting POI with a lot of mixed feelings towards it. The big changes throughout the map really just going to be higher detail, and they said the trees aren't in the exact same places, which is not a big deal. But it sure sucked when you would get a zone that would finish in Quarry, but it would finish up on these hills, and you'd be down on the Quarry and just getting blasted by these hills up here. Airport, so they said that there's going to be very few external ascenders. And so the only one that will be at airport on drop will probably be the interior one in tower. I'm hoping there's at least one exterior one that takes you up into the tower. And I'm hoping there's a couple that take you up on a roof. If I remember, there was, by the end of Verdansk, some that took you up onto the main roof of airport. So we're open for that. Storage Town. Now, the last time we did have Storage Town we got it. I guess we did get it in Al Mazrah. I was going to say Caldera, but I swear we got one in Al Mazrah. I might be tripping. Maybe we didn't. Maybe the last time we did get it was Caldera. If you remember, there was if for those that played, this was one of the hotter drops, not the hot drop. I mean, I think Hospital, Superstore were definitely hotter. I think Train Station was a little bit hotter a lot of times as well, but Storage Town was one of the hot drops. It's not pictured here. It's pictured in the Intel drop blog post, but this little storage tower here and the ones that look like this around the map, there's going to be a ladder. You can see it again in this little corner. I mean, this picture here and this picture here. But on the back side where there's a balcony, there will be a ladder to get on top. So you don't have to do any special jumping or like jump spots like we had to before. Superstore. The big thing for Superstore is that there is going to be, you can see it here, there's better lighting. They said overall in the map in general there will be better lighting, which I think is important and a very good change, so the dark skins aren't as big of a deal. So This is the old Superstore. This is not going to be Verdansk 84 Superstore. This is not going to be the crappy Urzikstan version of Superstore. This is going to be the true OG Superstore, the hot drop. So super excited for it. We usually dropped on this left side in the offices over here. A lot of people like to drop back in the docks that are in the back right side when you're looking in the front, like back on this side here. And then some people drop in the front doors right here and the little front doors here. Those are your usual hot drops. If you're coming in through the roof, you're already making a mistake. And then, of course, we have the tight aisles. The Superstore lighting will be the biggest deal. And then we have TV station coming back. It looks like the lighting's a little bit better, but it looks like Old Faithful TV station. One of the things that's hard to tell is some buildings have different window accesses, like the police stations. The windows are more open. Sorry, dog barking. But so it'll be interesting to fight a TV station again. It looks like it's pretty faithful to the original. I can't remember what the window layout was, but buildings with a lot of windows, that's where I expect some of the differences. Boneyard will be fun. Boneyard was a decently hot drop, a lot of matches, and end games in it were fun. It'll be fun to be running through these plains again. It was out on the western side of the map, a little southwest. Scrapyard, Boneyard, whatever you want to call it, because it does have the Scrapyard map. You can see it in this little picture here. The multiplayer map, Scrapyard, is in there. Now, Train Station is my love. They're showing this interior here, but the interior is not open till mid-season. I wish they would show the big circle window. There's a big circle window on, if you're looking at this picture down in the bottom left, which, by the way, I love the way they did the font behind the pictures in these. On the right side of the window, on the right side of the roof, there's that circle window you can dive through. I cannot wait to do that again with breakfast. It says, breach this via the pavement steps close to the metro entrance between the two currently inaccessible sky bridges. Covered steps to the northeast and southwest is the main platform. Two main hallways through the main station building are accessible just as they were 5 years ago, but the interior mezzanine, stairs, and shopping mall is currently sealed until mid-season. I cannot wait for that mid-season drop. Hospital, the other big hot drop. God, dude, you either land up top and try to shoot people down below, or you race to the helis and try to start chopping people up. It was a good way to get a lot of kills, was to grab like this heli. Oh man, what were the other heli spots? This was like the big heli everyone wanted to grab, and then chopping people up. I really hope that everything is faithful. The lighting looks pretty similar to the old one, which the lighting in Hospital was fine. They got the tents out here. They have the like extra warehouse buildings out here. I mean, it looks pretty faithful to the old one. Stadium. Now, Stadium's interesting because the roof is not open like it was later. It says, before a dark-suited member of Shadow Company opened the massive skylight. Oh, yeah, I forgot they blew up the roof. In Modern Warfare 2019 Season 5, the Acropolis National Arena was a giant structure with a curved rooftop favoring long-range campers and a large ground concourse along with the entrances to subterranean parking. The current stadium interior is sealed, but for how long? In the blog post, they redacted something that was going to open up later. It was probably Stadium. I thought the rumors were they were going to still have like some of Stadium open, but I guess not. Which is fine, but they had eventually we'll get hallways in Stadium and the interior Stadium open. Lumber used to be a joke with the squad I ran back then. Like, landing Lumber was just a joke to people. Lumber is okay, and I actually liked fighting in the piles of plywood a lot. I mean, it was an interesting drop, but Lumber and Farmland, which, well, I guess we'll get to Farmland soon, were not great drops. Downtown. Now, if you played Verdansk, you complained about snipers in downtown. We all did it. We complained about rooftop campers, and I can't wait for those complaints again. The big thing with downtown is we're not, and I mean, it makes sense because it's not Verdansk 84. No Nakatomi Tower, which is one thing that I was worried they would bring back, because it was an even taller sniper's nest. And I'm okay with them bringing it back later. I did not want it right away. I wonder if wasn't there like a safe or something you could open? There's like some Easter egg in the bank at one point. Oh, to get Juggernaut. I hope they bring that back eventually, but do it right. And then obviously we have Tower here, and compared to some of the other towers in the other maps, this is like nothing. Compared to Nakatomi Tower, these towers are not that big, which will be good. Farmland's definitely a bot drop. It is a loot regain spot. It is we are trying to avoid a lot of fights type of spot. And in fact, got my first win when I was on a gaming laptop. The first game, not just the first win, but the first game with me and Breakfast and his cousin all sniping with the SPR. It would be fun for the SPR to be one shot at all ranges and the car again. Promenade. Now, they only have it as Promenade. They don't have it as East and West Promenade, so I guess it's considered all one POI now. These red apartments are iconic. Pushing through the stairs was a pain in the ass. But there's not much to say about it. I mean, there's dealer. You can see one of the dealerships down the bottom right here. The other one, there's a better picture. Oh, no, that's electronics. You got to remember all the little call outs too. That's electronics. This right here is dealership. There's another dealership over by Superstore and Airport as well. It's interesting that they're just combining into one named POI apparently, and not East and West Promenade, unless let's see at the top. Nope, it's just Promenade now. It's not East and West. That's actually pretty interesting. Hills. The big change. I wonder if I hope these bunkers are eventually openable with a code. The big thing with Hills is, I guess this is back off the back corner of the map. If you fall in the water's, you don't die like you did before, but it's not a combat area, so they just have this little shack with this ascender here to get back out of the water. That's the big change in Hills. Everything else is the same. The big statue thing, sculpture, whatever you want to call it. Hills was a decent drop in the cul-de-sac here. That was sometimes a pretty hot drop, and you could get a lot of good loot just by going in these houses. That was definitely an interesting drop for sure. Then we have Park, which has another statue, figure, sculpture thing. The restaurant in Park definitely got in a lot of fights there. What's interesting is this goes over to Port, which we'll talk about next. This bleeds over into Port, and so the rotations from Port to Park were not that uncommon. Port was actually a fun drop because it has a couple big like warehouse buildings. It was a good drop. It'll be interesting to go back into these like ship areas again, the like dry beds, wet beds for ships, whatever you want to call it, with these dams. There was always a little bit of loot down there, but if you got caught down there, man, did you get destroyed. A lot of fun. I had a lot of fun in Port. The cranes had always had a little bit of good loot on them. Sitting in the cranes, definitely a thing that happens in Urzikstan now. They definitely try to replicate a little bit of the feel of Port with cargo. So that'd be fun. And then we are at Prison. Prison, oh man, when you had the zone that you just knew was ending Prison, it was always a bot drop and never a hot drop until it was obvious that the zone was going to finish around Prison. And then it's how many people can land there, and can you hold the towers? And then if you landed there, you did all of the recon contracts that were there, so you could see where you needed a position in Prison as the circles went on. And contracts spawn like they still do throughout the match. And so you would be like, all right, hey, somebody go grab the intel. And it would like, the recon area would be like in this front area. Sometimes it'd be in the bottom of Prison. Sometimes it'd be just outside of Prison. And you would just, like, Prison is a hot drop when you know it's ending there. And you and your buddies just grab snipers and sit up in the towers. So then we're in a Gulag. Gulag is showers again. We're getting to capture the flag again, 1v1. I hope we see some more stuff like sniper gulags like we used to. I would like the melee only gulags, but I know people don't like them. But I would like to at least see sniper gulags, or just go back to just pistols. Only pistols in the gulag would be fun as well. It's the normal showers. There is a few different layouts. Here's one layout here with the slanted showers here, the half circle with the cutout in the middle, and then some shower stalls around. Then we have layout 2 with the straightaway showers. Now, we'll see if you'll be able to, but you used to be able to jump on these sinks and look through. When we've had shower gulags before, since then, they have made that a thing, and then they took it away in the most recent shower gulag, unfortunately. So here's shower gulag number 2. It's a little more straightforward. You have these equal, like, broken shower stalls in the middle for cover, and then the cover along the sides. Gulag number 3 has the full circle that's open on each side here. Once again, it'll be interesting to see if you can jump on these sinks, but I bet you they took that away again. Not that big of a deal. And then, so we have some public landmarks. Called that like triangle roof. I mean, you should call it A-frame or restaurant. It was like a restaurant. Police station. It's interesting that they have these subway entrances again. Hopefully we never see the fast travel entrances again. What do they call metro? And then fire station. So they call the top left police, top right they call pharmacy. I don't remember calling it pharmacy, but we might have. I'm going to sneeze. Public building landmarks. They call that public house. Everyone called that restaurant before. Gas station, obviously. Banks, that was what we called it. And burger burger, gun stores. No one called that tenement blocks. It was apartments. We did call that gun store, the little white building, and then burger. Other unmarked POIs, just different houses, antennas, sculpture, statue, whatever you call it, train tracks. Fun fact, me and my fiance, when we were dating, she's actually why I'm so into Warzone than I am now, even though she doesn't play. We got our first win over by these train tracks. Both of our first wins ever. It was a duos win. We got our first win there. Unmarked POIs in the north, we have a down plane. We have these like watchtowers, more houses, like garage or warehouse. Up in the middle part of the map, let me see so where we were just looking is, I guess it's WHP camp. It's up in there. That's this area here. Some regains there. There was a buy station at one of these buildings over here. These are simple call outs, and we have the garages down here and that we have in a couple different buildings. That's over by one of the restaurants. We have these tents here, a bus here, nothing crazy. Then down here, called it like warehouse, bunkers, racetrack, and then you just call out what these buildings are because nothing specific here, but like racetrack, bunkers. They don't really call it anything here. They're just all unmarked and unnamed POIs. Train car. This one was titties. Pool roof. I remember those call outs. That's the pool building there. Silos. This is over, it looked like, by Superstore. This is over in between hospital and train station. This hill, I remember that. These were called twins or twin towers, these curved apartment buildings. Graveyard. I'm just trying to remember these call outs. You just call out which specific house. Those didn't really have good call outs. Bunkers. Again, this is central and eastern. This is over by like the lumber area. Southern Verdansk. So this is what's interesting is we have the water. Like I said, it's not really part of the combat area, but there's different water spots that you could fall off and get back in, climb back up. And that's it. Verdansk launches Thursday, April 3rd at 9 a.m. Pacific. It will go dark April 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific until it launches. And there's nothing else really to talk about Warzone related there. So that's the little tour of Verdansk. I'm super excited. I know it wasn't super detailed, but it's just a little nostalgic look back at Verdansk. I'm super excited. I hope you're excited. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I'll link this down below, the Intel drop, the Tech Atlas, the COD pod, my video about the Intel drop, all that linked down below, as well as my Twitch and my social medias if you want to come hang out live on Verdansk, or you just want to follow me anywhere else. I will appreciate that. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like this type of content. And comment down below what you think of Verdansk, the map. Are you excited for the return? Let me know in the comments down below. And I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I will see you on Verdansk. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.